Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today I have something very special that came in from Dirk Warning. It's part of our Apex group. Let's take a look at this. I think I know what it is, but I'm not sure. I can't quite exactly remember. Could be a couple of things. So let's see what we got. Okay, it's packaged really well. All right then. That is interesting. Zach's do something kind for someone. Okay, so this is Zach. Is this something with Jack Wolf? This almost reminds me of Jack Wolf a little bit. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Oh, yeah. That is that USA made one. Aluminum scales. Reversible clip, steel clip. I think that's a steel clip, right? Yeah, steel clip. Aluminum scales, I believe. It's a button lock flipper. Let's see. It's got that step milled grind. Made in the USA. Oh, who is that? Oh my goodness. I got to look it up. All right, I'm back. So this knife is by Highwater Knives. This is called the Estuary or something like that. Estuary. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I got to look it up. It's not a word I normally use. But made by some guys who were engineers, graduated from the University of Connecticut School of Engineering, worked on a whole bunch of different stuff. And so this particular knife is made out of CPM-154 steel. Does it say that on here anywhere? Oh, here it is. Yeah, CPM-154 steel. Made in the USA. It's got that beautiful step mill grind, a really high polished edge, man. Boy, that is sharp. That's a nice polished grind. I don't know if anybody did that or if that's their polished grind. Wonder if somebody did that in the group. Anyways, really cool. I don't know what you call this. Probably maybe a tanto. Yeah, I mean, this seems to me like a tanto with a drop point tanto. A dronto. Do we call that a dronto? Maybe. I don't know. Oh, that's nice. Let's see. It does click in really well. Now you have to really clear that button there. And then it clicks. Beautifully centered. Yeah, definitely centers. 2 standoffs. Do we have any weight relief in this thing here? No, it's just aluminum. So, and that is a typical plunge lock. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a typical plunge lock right there. Engages on the tang of the blade. There's a stop pin. Yeah. Now, you have to go in a certain amount of distance to be able for it to disengage. But it does lock in really well. That's interesting. Interesting design milling on this aluminum scale with some Cerakote, I believe. I'm guessing it's Cerakoted or something because it's very polished. Maybe a polished Cerakote. But pretty cool. I like the step mill pattern. That's really, really neat. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that's what they called it as well. This is hardened to 5859, I guess, for CPM-154. That is good. I don't know much about, the actual HRC for CPM-154. But interesting, interesting. There's no jimping on here. I do slip a little bit, I will tell you that. And that's, I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of that, because I feel like I could slip. There's no other, it's single deployment unless you do the button lock, which I guess technically that makes it 2. Yeah, it's real easy to flip that. I mean, it's a strong detent. That step milling is really cool. That is really cool. I like that. I've seen that on a Waypoint LC from Carry. They had their step milling, and it's phenomenal. Just absolutely phenomenal when it's done well. I know some custom knives have that too. Very interesting handle. It does fit really well in hand. This clip's nice and rounded. No sharp edges. Everything is rounded beautifully. Nothing sharp. Even up here, there's no sharp edges. I mean, this is where there's no jimping. It works out fine, but sometimes it's nice to have a little jimping. I think especially here, because that's really easy to slip off. I've already done that a few times. And it's nice that you can reverse the clip, so left hand tip up. Works out really well. It doesn't look like it's a captive pivot, so it's 2 different screws. This looks like it's probably a T10, and these are T8s. Let's check that out. So here's the T10. Yeah, looks like a T10. And let's see, are these T8s? T8s. Yeah, oh, it's a little too big. It's a T8 there. But these seem like, well, oh, is that T10 also? Yeah, T10 on the clip here and T10 here. That was a T8, but ironically, is this a T6? Yeah. Well, are they even T6s or are they hex screws? Hold on a second. Okay, that's a torque. Hold on, I need to zoom in a little bit. I think they're torque. It's kind of hard to tell there for a second. Oops. All right, zoom back out. So, interesting design, definitely different. I like, oh, see, boy, that's so stiff, that's gonna hurt my finger. Yeah, I'm not a fan of no jimping, because it slides too much and then it just digs into your finger, so it's very uncomfortable. I like the concept. If they put some jimping on there, that might make it very interesting. Interesting blade shape. I mean, it's interesting to check out. The blade to handle ratio is pretty good, actually. Beautiful satin finish right there. I do like that. And then it looks like it's, I don't know, stone washed here. But, yeah, it works nicely. But, you know, here's the thing. It's USA made. It feels really substantial, pretty solid. It's aluminum scales, I think. They're not milled out, so it's got a little bit of weight to it, but it's not terrible, right? The flipping would be fantastic if there was some jimping, because my finger constantly wants to flip off of there. And it's really strong, what people would typically call a detent. This is a plunge lock resistance, so it's really the resistance of the plunge lock when it's engaged here. And that's pretty strong, pretty strong. Too strong for me, in my opinion. I wish it was a full deep pocket carry clip. I'm sure you could replace it, but it's not. And so, you know, you deal with that. 2 standoffs, which is nice. Everything's around it, nothing sharp. I do like that. But those are things that are really important. When get it in hand, you not choke up. This is really it. So I have large hands, and I think an extra large, double extra large hands could absolutely fit this. There's really no choke up position. You can't put your thumb here. There's no jimping or anything. So, you know, it might slide. You're not going to get any extra traction on there. It feels absolutely rock solid. There's no pivot lash. Yeah, when it's locked in, it's solidly locked in. So, I mean, I will tell you, it's simply fantastic. But, yeah, interesting indeed. I found that pretty fascinating. Yeah, that's an interesting knife. I'm not really sure what to think about it yet. It's so different that I'm processing it. I'm not sure what I think. There's a lot of cool things about it. I like this texture. It's just enough texture. It's not too much. It's not going to grab on your clip. I wish this was titanium, obviously, the clip at least, because I'm going to destroy it. If this was my knife and I was carrying it, I would rip that clip. So really need some jimping up here. That's super important to me. The button lock does work, but you have to get engaged enough and for it to clear first, because if you don't, then you see it's I don't know what, you know how you can have a double clutch with the detent ball when it's trying to get over the lock bar. This feels like a plunge lock, a button lock's equivalent to a double clutch, right? Here, I'm not cleared yet. I have to really press in to clear it. And, you know, typically the plunge lock, you're cleared pretty quick. This right here, you know, is recessed, so it's nice and out of the way, but to get to it sometimes, if you got big meaty fingers, it's hard. See, like right here, if I push in on this, it's not necessarily clear. I have to kind of turn my finger to get through there. And so if someone who's got really big meaty fingers or big fingers, it's a little more challenging, I think. But it is interesting. Now, it does appear to be on cage ceramic bearings, but I can't quite tell what size. That's nice. So I don't know if you can see that. Looks like a little layer. That almost looks like Damascus the way I see that. It's not, but it has that Damascus sandmine kind of look to it. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. So this is 6061 T6 aluminum type 3 hard coat anodized 4.77-inch closed handle. Interesting. The lock is 440C button lock. The pivot is 440C caged axial bearings, hardened stainless steel pivot. Okay, very interesting. The blade is 3.5 inches, CPM-154, CNC machined and hardened to 5859 HRC. Interesting. All right, so this is a very interesting knife. Sorry, I had to make sure I have my notes here. It is milled out here a little bit for your finger when you're flipping, so you can get down a little bit more, give it a little more, deployment. When it does drop, it does engage pretty well. It's pretty smooth. That's interesting. I'm not sure if I'm bought on this button lock. The button lock's a little deep. It's the detents really, or the plunge lock resistance is really strong. And if I wasn't intentionally looking and making sure I placed it in the exact right spot, I would miss that. So there you go. Interesting knife. Interesting knife. I don't know I don't know much else what I could add to it, because this is an unboxing first impression, and my first impressions aren't real clear on this one yet. I think I need to handle this for a little bit. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. That's where I'm at right now. I like a lot of things about it, but there's a few things I really don't like about it. And, I'm trying to see, are the things that I really like enough to overcome the things I don't like? So I don't know. I'm gonna have to handle this. I mean, the cool things about it, the button lock does absolutely engage, solid when it engages, opens and closes. Like the texture on the aluminum scales, beautifully coated, very solid coating. It seems like. Love the CNC kind of step milled pattern of the blade. That's really cool. Seems like a nice robust blade here and everything. Nice generous handle. Definitely feels cool there. But this is one of those unique and interesting knives that I'm not sure about, right? So yeah, there we go. If you guys are familiar with this one, you have any thoughts and opinions, I would love to hear from you down below. Please feel free to comment. If you have any background or history on this, I would love to hear about that as well. I will tell you, it's an interesting knife. We will carry it. We'll figure it out. But it's interesting. It's a unique experience to unbox. Yeah, there we go. Well, let's take a nice close look up, because I'm sure you guys would like to see that. Let me zoom in here a little bit. You can see that beautiful CNC pattern on the blade and then the handle. Show you the back part with the clip and the blade here. All right, so now let's take a nice look here of the whole knife. Very interesting little thing. Really, really interesting. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. So there you go. Very cool. All right, so this is the Highwater Knives Estuary, or Estuary. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. It is a button lock. It does have a flipper. Made in the USA, which is nice. I mean, up there with like ProTech and stuff, right? So it feels pretty solid for that. So definitely definitely up there with ProTech, and definitely something worth, at least comparable prices, I think. Definitely unique design. I think a lot of people are going to like this. Some people aren't. Some people, it's just a little too much for them, but I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. At least get a chance to check it out. I would put jimping in there, and if I were to buy this knife and this was mine, I would probably attempt to do that myself, because I would need to have some texture. That's just an uncomfortable flipper after a while. I get why it's there for that, but it's just interesting. All right, well, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, entertaining, or just informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've also hit that like button already, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking the videos really helps out the channel. Allows me to produce more content, do more things, and ultimately help you guys. So thank you. Thank you to every one of you guys. I appreciate you so much, and especially you guys who watch the videos, who like, who subscribe. I appreciate you guys, every one of you guys, especially helping out the channel like that. I want to say thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you so much, especially channel members out there. I appreciate every one of you guys. You guys are awesome. You've been with me since the channel started and still keep supporting the channel, and I am very grateful to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I appreciate every one of you guys. Hey, if you haven't decided to become a member yet, but you're interested, maybe you're on the fence, would you check out the description down below? You can click on that and show you the 3 different tiers of membership there are. If you want to just kind of be a part of it, you can be at the lowest tier, but if you wanted to, there's a few extra benefits with the higher tiers. If that interests you, I would love to have you as well, or you just want to support the channel more. So thank you. I would appreciate that. Yeah, so that's a little bit about that. So if you haven't already, maybe also go check me out on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.